All right, welcome to our Wednesday corporate update call. We are March 31st, so this is the last day of the month where you should be really pushing to close out your ranks. This is a great time. We should have been doing this before, but today is a great day to be looking within your downline, in your back office, to see if there's anyone that's close to hitting their next rank and helping them to hit that rank so that it helps you to also increase your rank. If you guys don't know where to do that, we have a great report that is in the back office that you can look at to see who's close to hitting a rank. You're also able to click on each of their names so that you can see how close they are to hitting a rank and where they need to grow to hit that rank. So make sure you're checking on your downline. Again, if they're successful, you're successful. So we want everyone to be helping each other and hitting their ranks. So for the month of March, we do have the promotion that is ending today. So make sure that you're taking advantage of it if you haven't already, where you buy 200 PV of product and you get a free genomics. Or if you buy 480 or more in product, you can get 2 free genomics. So it's a great promotion. Coming April, which starts tomorrow, is the last month for the 500 Club. So if you haven't gotten your enrollments in for February, March, make sure that you're running and to get your enrollments in for April. We'll also have an April promotion that will launch tomorrow. So look for that. We'll be sending that out on Telegram. And it will be a great promotion that you can use to build for the month of April. Next Tuesday is our Testimonial Tuesday call. So as you guys know, we've moved our nightly calls to every Tuesday. So Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain. So that's 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So jump on for our Testimonial Tuesday. And as we are talking about testimonials, for those of you that joined last night, I showed a bunch of Arrow testimonials and kind of talked about my own testimonial. I will say been giving you guys an update. I'll say that I'll let you guys know it was my birthday, and then it was Hunter's birthday, and then it was another friend's birthday. I kind of got a little bit off track. I haven't gained any weight, but I haven't lost any more weight from the last time that I let you guys know. So I'm using Arrow to keep me on track. We're back on track. Less cravings now with making sure that I'm taking my Arrow in the morning. But I want to turn some time just over to Mary and have her explain the experience that her son's been having with Arrow. So Mary, go ahead and share.
So my son has to take, he's almost 27, and he has to take medicine to keep him from going too much energy. So, and he also has to take at night trazodone, which is an antidepressant, and it helps him sleep. So he wakes up every single morning so groggy and doesn't want to wake up and is so sleepy. And this Arrow has brought him back to life. And I'm so glad he won that at, David Brown was there at Trisha's house. He won the Arrow and he became a distributor, and he is really enjoying getting his energy back. So being in your prime and losing your energy has been really a struggle for him.
Well, thank you, Mary. Yeah, that would be a struggle. So we're so excited that he has his energy back. And it's a good example that this product can be used for a lot of different people, not just for weight loss, but it also is an energy drink. So, but it's not going to be those high-powered energy drinks where you get all jittery and you have the sudden crash. It's a very nice, smooth energy with the guarana and the vitamin B complex. So that is great news, Mary. We're so excited that he's had good results on it. Okay, so with the end of the month, since today is the last day of the month, we have extended our call center hours. So the call center will be open tonight until 8 p.m. So if you need any help, please call them and they'll get you taken care of. They'll be there till 8. Everyone should have the number. I know a few people have been calling our 801 number. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that we did change over to a toll-free number, and that number is 888-601-0125, and we'll be sending that out on our Telegram channel as well, just to make sure that everyone has that updated phone number. And if you haven't joined our Telegram channel, be sure to join it, because that's where we send out all of our call updates. We'll send out the promotions, and you can just search for ACTIVZ USA to join the channel. It's a public channel, so you should be able to find it easily. There's also an easy way to send a link to people so that they can join it as well. So if you have people in your downline that are not aware of the Telegram channel, make sure that you copy that link and you send it to your downline as well, so that they can get all the same updates that you're getting. The active school, we mentioned on our last call that we're going to be switching to the second Saturday. So the active school for April is going to be April 10th. And we have some great, amazing speakers. We have Ed Toth, we have Carla Lopez, and Maribel. So those are going to be our 3 speakers for the active school, April 10th. And that starts at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay, well, those are all of the updates for today. And we have Good Friday that's coming up on April 2nd, on this Friday. So hopefully everyone is celebrating this weekend. And I'm just going to turn some time over to David to talk about some closing remarks and any other updates.
Thanks, Angie. One other thing in regards to the active school is that in order to be sensitive to people's demands on Saturday mornings, we're going to decrease it by a half an hour. So rather than be a 2-hour school, it's going to be an hour and a half. We think that we can pack in a lot of information and utilize that time well. So that's one thing to look forward to as well. You know, I've been thinking a lot. The company, corporate, as we sometimes refer to it, and each of your individual businesses. And I'm always struck by the similarities between the two. Sometimes people don't think that that's the case, but really what we do and what you do in order to build your own business is really largely the same. So I'll throw out a question to you guys. Whether it's our business, your business, frankly, any business, what do you think is the key to a successful business? What is the primary determining factor as to whether a company succeeds or doesn't succeed, do you think? Any ideas? This is Business School 101. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to work it.
You have to work it. But that's not that's an important factor, but it's not the most important factor, whether it be individuals or companies. There's lots of cases of people who work hard who don't necessarily succeed, right? Or companies that have lots of good people.
You need to love what you do. I mean, you need to have the passion, because if you don't enjoy it, I mean.
That's part of it. I think that's true, but I don't think it's the most important thing.
Commitment.
What I think is the most important thing, okay, and this doesn't sound very, it's not very heartwarming, like passion and hard work and things like that. The key to me is distribution. Any company needs to have distribution. You need to have, and that distribution is key in order to get it out in front of people, right? So I look back and, you know, sometimes we talk about LifeVantage, and I think about when I first joined LifeVantage. They had distribution. They didn't have wide retail distribution compared to what I was used to before in my previous experiences. I was used to running companies that had 60 to 100,000 points of retail distribution between what's called food, drug, and mass channels. LifeVantage didn't have anywhere close to that, but they had, I would say, about between 4,000 and 5,000 retail outlets, primarily GNC. Okay. And if you compare that to when we shifted over to network marketing, it took us a while to get to 4,000 to 5,000 active distributors at LifeVantage. But in very short order, the revenue increased tremendously, even though we didn't have as many distribution outlets, so to speak. But the difference between the one type of distribution on the one hand and the other distribution on the other, we've talked about this before, is that if you have distribution where you are able to get in front of people and get noticed, that is the key. And so when Protandem was on the shelves at GNC, nothing changed. Protandem didn't become a better product. once it went into network marketing and revenues started to increase tremendously. Nothing happened. What happened was it was now in front of more people who had a chance to hear about it, take it, experience it. In fact, I was having this conversation yesterday with a scientist that we've been talking about, and he said, David, the research institute that I'm part of has a lot of great intellectual property. We have patented formulas. We have things for a lot of benefits because he said, and they're associated with a particular university. He said, universities tend to collect patents and then they don't know what to do with it. I said, that's really interesting. And I told him about the experience we had at LifeVantage in terms of taking what I often called was an orphan product, this great product that had great science, and yet, but for changing the distribution, it was never going to see the light of day. If we don't go into network marketing, if we don't make that change, frankly, LifeVantage is out of business. And many people never hear about Dr. Joe McCord. They never hear about oxidative stress. And it's just an entire, history is essentially wiped out. And he was telling me about these other products. And I've always firmly believed that there are other so-called orphan products out there that are great. They have tremendous science. They just need to be exposed to other people and to more people. In fact, I think that our other products firmly fit in that category. Genomics is exactly the same thing, but for us, it would be an orphan product. Our form of butyric acid, but for us would be an orphan product. I say our form of tetrahydrocurcumin. So what do we do as a company? We look for, there's only 3 ways that we or you can increase revenues and increase the size of our business, right? One is to get new people. That's number one. I wouldn't say it's number one on the hierarchy. It's just one way. Number 2 is to increase the amount that existing people are ordering. And number 3 is increase the frequency that existing people are ordering, especially meaning, try to reduce attrition. So people that aren't reordering, try to get them to reorder. And so those are really the things that we focus upon. We say, how do we attract new people? How do we have offerings that will increase the amount that they're buying from us? And how do we decrease attrition? And I would submit that for you to build your business, it's exactly the same way. How do we find new people? How do we do this? How do we get people to buy more? We get them to buy more by increasing our product offering. We actually have a great advantage over the early days of LifeVantage because we only had one product. Well, we actually had 2. We had the skincare product, which is pretty good, but Protandim was it. And now we have, and one of the challenges we had at LifeVantage that we don't have here is we didn't have products. I don't know if I ever told some of you might not even know this. I'll bet Angie didn't know this, but that when I joined LifeVantage, they actually had other products. Guess what other products they had? They had some vitamin products. They had some fish oil products. They had a bunch of Me Too products. And when we made the change to go into network marketing, I said, get rid of all that stuff. It's just Me Too stuff. We're not going to offer anything. Now, if it had been things that really were a lot better, I would have said, let's keep it, but it wasn't. So we had this advantage of whatever interests somebody in the first place, we can add to it. And so I want to then parlay that into saying, well, how do we do some of these things? And really it involves, frankly, trying new ideas and stretching and doing some things that are, when we talk about, I'm not sure who that is, but welcome to the call. We're glad to have you. But if you were to talk to Stu Carvalho, who's a former, collegiate athlete and still very involved in coaching and working with people, and you were to say, how important physically is stretching? He'll probably tell you. Stu on the call? I don't even know if Stu's on the call. He usually is. But in any event, it's extremely important. Stretching reduces injury. It helps keep muscles toned, and it keeps us ready to do things and capable of doing things that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do. It actually really offsets the aging process as well. Stretching is really important. Now, that said, probably all of us have heard of stretching and know the importance of stretching, but how many of us stretch every single day? Probably not everybody. You do, as we do it infrequently. Stretching kind of hurts. You're like, I don't really like this very much. But then if you do it consistently and you stretch, all of a sudden you start describing stretching in a different manner. You talk about how you use words like, it's a good stretch. I really feel good stretching. And all doing things differently. And I think that is really a good example for business. We have to stretch and really become more comfortable with doing uncomfortable things. In business, that's often putting ourselves out there, introducing the products and the business opportunity to people that we're not sure about. Maybe they're not in our close circle of friends and family members. We're not sure how this person's going to take it. I'll use an example. Recently, I've been in Phoenix, spending a lot of time with Trish and with Coco. I've personally witnessed Coco doing some things that I could tell she wasn't entirely comfortable with. It was a little bit hard. She was joining groups of people that she didn't know before. And without knowing them very well, she was talking to them about ACTIVZ and about our products. And I was there in certain meetings where some people accepted it pretty well. Some people kind of like, whatever. And those are hard things because you're putting your reputation on the line and kind of a little bit, it's your whole confidence can kind of be based upon what other people, how other people respond. To her credit, she didn't let a few no's or indifference sway her, and she kept going. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily yet that Coco is totally comfortable doing uncomfortable things, but she's off to a good start. And that's really where the difference is made. If we just sit and we stay in the comfortable, if we just sit with, if we were only to have had genomics and only talked about Dr. McCord and only talked about oxidative stress, for many of us, that's a really comfortable position. We've been there for a long time. We can talk to anybody about oxidative stress and about free radicals. And we can relate any topic to that. Somebody says good morning, we can say yes. Did you know that when you say good morning, that decreases your free radical? We could do anything like that. But we got a little bit uncomfortable in terms of getting into some other areas, in terms of Optimend and Link and Amora and now Arrow. And what's interesting is that, I don't know, I've spent a lot of time looking at ingredients and looking at products. And I'll tell you what, we are underestimating it. Well, I have been underestimating the impact of Arrow. Have some of you been asking yourselves, well, we talk about epigenetics. How is Arrow an epigenetic product? Well, if we really understand epigenetics, we understand that anything that influences the gene, which is pretty much everything that we eat, everything we drink, and many things that we do, and even the things that we think, as Dr. Maroon has discussed, affect our genes. But did you know that specifically, for example, and we're gonna have some more information about this. You might think, man, David's all over the place today, but I promise I am going to tie this together, or at least try to. But did you know that African mango, for example, is a great fiber, and fiber is great. So we have the agave inulin and we have African mango, both of which are fibers, and fiber is really good for a lot of things. It's a prebiotic that feeds our probiotics and allows good things like butyric acid to be made by friendly bacteria. It helps us feel full. It keeps our digestive tract going better. But all fibers are not created the same. And in the case of African mango, did you know that it actually activates a certain receptor genes, like one's called PPAR gamma? You know what that does? In regards to our adipose or our fat cells, it actually has them operate properly, reduce hormones that will actually make us feel full faster, actually helps increase insulin sensitivity so our blood sugar levels don't fluctuate, all those type of things. It's a truly amazing epigenetic ingredient. But guess what? Going back to the orphan product concept, unless we tell people about that, they'll never know about the benefits of African mango. So where I'm going with this is, get uncomfortable. stretch a little bit. And remember, the key to your business and the key to our business is distribution and getting it out there. So that means that you go out, make yourself uncomfortable, introduce it to new people, find new groups. It means you go back to your existing people and see if they are maximizing the benefits of all of our products and ordering. And if people have fallen off, let's find out why. Are they not getting the experience on the product that they expected? And if so, was that because they forgot to take it and just never got into the habit? Or what was the situation? Did they not get the experience of making money like they expected to? And if so, did they really try? Do they need more help? Are they open to receiving some help? All of those things. And just remember that we are totally linked with you. And therefore, if we can help you do any of these things, whether it be on a phone call with you, whether it's providing more information about the products, whether it's offering promotions and incentives and things to help people move forward, those are the things that we are dedicated and focused upon doing. And so this has been a little bit of a MBA class, but just remember that when you treat your distributorship like a business, focusing on those things that are key to your growth, you will see it grow. If you don't treat it like a business, if you don't focus on the ways of saying, how do I increase my distribution? How do I increase order size? How do I decrease attrition? You'll find that you're not making and you don't have to think about it in those terms, but you do have to focus on this and say, this is my business. And if I were to open up a store and have a bunch of products inside the store, but I'm never open and no one's ever there, you could imagine that people aren't going to come shop there and you're not going to have success. It's the same thing here. You've got to be open, you've got to work it and spend the time necessary. And the fact that you're on this call today means that you're already committed. And I know that many of you have seen tremendous growth, but if you're wondering, why am I stuck? Focus on those areas. How do I get new people? How do I help more of my existing people progress? And how do I avoid drop-offs? And I think there's lots of great advice from corporate. There's also great advice from uplines and people crossline, and many people on this call who will have their own insights as to how to handle those things. So anyway, those things have been on my mind today. I just wanted to share them with you. I can let you know that with 1 day left to go in the month, we've already had ACTIVZ has just had their strongest, best month ever. And that's really associated with all of you and many people who aren't on this call as well. But it's fun to be part of a active, growing company that's making a lot of difference in a lot of lives. So thanks, everybody, and have a great week. Angie, back to you.
Thank you, David. Yeah, we've had an incredible month. And also to just add on to what David said, US has also had their largest month in the company's history. So we're having some incredible growth, and it is because of all of you guys. But right now it's about you guys, and we are going to do a raffle. So let me get this started, and we will do a raffle for some reward points. Let me share my screen really quick.
Maybe we should do raffles. The first raffle is guess who's going to win the raffle. And if you guess who wins the raffle, you also win.
My guess would be on Mary, but let's see. Account. Congratulations, Dr. West. And again, if you guys did mention this earlier, but if you had any guests join on the call, let me know and we'll get the 20 reward points added for any guests that you had. But thank you all for joining. We appreciate you guys being on here. And just a reminder that next Tuesday, we'll have our Testimonial Tuesday. And then on April 10th, we'll have our active schools. So we will see you guys next Tuesday.
See you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.